Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison and CEO Mark Hurd sitting down for their first joint interview ever. In a Fox Business exclusive, the leaders weighed in on their competition and why Oracle Cloud technology, they say, is the best in the business. CEO Mark Hurd revealing a huge bump in R&D spending.
It wasn't 6-7 years ago we spent, I don't know, $3.7 billion in R&D. We'll spend over $6 billion in R&D this year, just so you get a context of how much we've invested into these new cool products, all the stuff we've got that's now available in the cloud. From the customer perspective, they have a lot of issues. I mean, they've spent 25 years building up these extremely heterogeneous architectures, almost like a Lego set, as we talked a bit yesterday. Very complicated, hard for our customers to even know what they have in their inventory of applications and tools and middleware, et cetera. So this is a very hard environment to modernize, to upgrade, to secure, to Larry's point. And so what you get, one thing with our customers is they probably on average have hundreds of configurations. In our cloud, we have one configuration. While it's scaled, much easier for us to upgrade, modernize, and to secure. I
understand. I mean, and the reason I said unlimited spend is I was speaking to some financial services executives the other day. Jamie Dimon told me that they will spend almost $1 billion on securing their data, on cyber, in the next year. That's what I'm saying. These companies cannot afford to have any slip-ups.
Well,
to have any vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and first of all, I love Jamie Dimon. I think he's the world's preeminent banker. Probably made some enemies with saying that, but anyway, he's an incredible guy, incredible executive. But if Google can't protect their network, if Facebook can't protect their network, it's challenging for JPMorgan, Chase, to protect their network. This is not a trivial exercise. They can spend $1 billion. We spend more than $1 billion securing our network. So does Facebook. So does Google. It's a hard problem.
Who are the bad actors? What do they want? Do they want to just what? They want anything? Steal money? What do they want?
Well,
and who are the bad actors?
There are two classes. There are people who want to steal a lot of credit cards and just make money, and then there are state actors who want to gain intelligence. A government agency that basically the Ministry for Personnel in the United States was hacked by a government actor who was able to get all of the resumes for everyone in the White House, all of the Office of Personnel Management is called. The state actor took all of that information. With all the government agencies, and took it all, and they were able to analyze it. And they, for example, they did something very clever. They said, oh, these are all the people that work for the government. These are all the people that work at this embassy in our capital city. How come there are some people that work in the embassy in the capital city that aren't in the list of government employees? Maybe they all work for CIA. They were able to find out a lot of things about our intelligence agencies by hacking into the Office of Personnel Management and just comparing data. So
that's incredible.
It was an extraordinary setback for us. And we have to do a much better job of securing data. There are plenty of financial services firms you read about that don't secure their database, and they end up above the fold on a New York Times report, and the CEO gets fired because they don't patch their databases in a timely fashion. The only way you can handle that, is to fully automate the database patching. You have to fully automate threat discovery, and the second it's discovered, your robots discover it, your robots have to patch it, because if they have robot attacks on our clouds and robot attacks on our data centers and our government agencies, you'd better have robotic defenses or cyber defenses that are Star Wars-ish.
Wow, this is a moment in time where aren't many things more important than this.
Well, this is at the CEO level now, Maria. So, I mean, this is not a conversation that people like just Larry and I have. I mean, this is a conversation going on at the CEO level. The example that Larry just brought up, there's a customer that had actually bought encryption to their database and actually didn't implement it. So, to my knowledge, nobody has ever de-encrypted an encrypted Oracle database. You talked about unlimited spend. Less than 1% and I'm sure I'm roughly right, of our databases are encrypted. Of the people that have bought our encryption, half have actually not implemented it. So, and that's just one of the things we can do. By the way, in our cloud, all of the customers' data is encrypted.
Yeah, there's no option. Right now, historically, the customers have been given a choice: encryption, optional. You can turn it on. Some people think encryption slows performance a little bit. In our cloud, we have no options. Everything is encrypted. It's encrypted at rest. It's encrypted in transit. Inside of different customers, as I say, the hardest thing is to know what you even have. This one big customer who had to get a new CEO found that they had patched something, that they had a database called Apache Struts, and there was a big security vulnerability, and they patched about 80% of their Apache Struts databases. They couldn't even find all their databases. Unfortunately, the ones they didn't patch lost millions and millions of consumer financial records.
You've got a lot of competitors at your heels. We know that. So let me ask you about that, Mark, because these markets are nervous. Another 600-point sell-off today because people are worried about growth. Does this even become part of the conversation? You cannot, give up or give in on this kind of spend in terms of securing your data.
First of all the points Larry's bringing up, we're the only one that has this capability. So when you look at the market, depending on which competitor you're talking about, we invest in technology. I think the core of Oracle, we have our founders' DNA in the entire company, which is to continue to innovate. And for us, when you talk about these things we've just talked through, patching, whether it's encryption, all of these now are inherent. The separation and segregation of data on the control plane from where the customer's data is. These are all fundamentals of what we're bringing to market, and frankly, we're highly differentiated in this area.
Have you seen any change in terms of the global outlook that would warrant this kind of nervousness in terms of growth?
Well, I told you what I thought yesterday. I think the U.S. economy is going fine. And when we look particularly at mid-market, and I gave you the example of some of our NetSuite business, which has had an unbelievable run. Now, some of that is caused by things we've done, frankly, to add more salespeople, add more engineers. But at the same time, our NetSuite business grew over 70% in our fiscal Q4, grew over 40% in our fiscal Q1 in bookings. I think that's indicative. Most of that growth was in the United States. And that's indicative of where we think the mid-market is in the U.S. It's growing, it's investing.